Hello everyone. Today we will be analyzing the character of Greg Heffley in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I'm sure most of us who have read the books and watched the movies growing up were not really as perceptive as we are now, and only later on in life realized how much of a egoist Greg is. So I thought it'd be fun to go through the movie and point out all the moments where Greg is annoying and stuff. I would like to clarify, however, that for this video, I will only be going through the first movie because 1, I haven't read the books in a long time, and I'm really not about to buy some books. 2, who really reads books anymore? And 3, I low-key just wanted to watch the movie. Also, I'm pretty sure in the first book / movie, that's where Greg is the most annoying. Because I guess he does get some character development by the end of the movie, but not to say he completely changes, not at all. But his bad character traits are, I guess I'd say, the most concentrated in the first installment of this series. Also, obviously, spoiler warning, so if you haven't read the first book or watched this movie, I would recommend you do so. At least the movie. Not that the book is bad, but the movie is pretty good, so yeah, anyways, without further ado, let us begin. We not even 3 minutes in, y'all, and it's already something. This boy gonna smack my man's Rowley in the face. Okay, the first instance we see of Greg's ego. Here, Greg asks Rowley to rank himself on a list of popularity. Making a list based on popularity is pretty sad and lame, to be honest. But not only does Greg Heffley place Rowley towards the bottom, he places himself near the top of the list.
God, bro.
How the hell are you even going to be popular, bruh? You just started middle school. Next is where he meets Angie. And even though she appears to be very like-minded to him and his friend Rowley, he doesn't want to engage with her due to the fear of being seen as weird. Although I will admit, this might be normal behavior for someone his age. You will see this a lot. Greg doing whatever it takes to not be seen as weird. Here, Greg and Rowley try to find a table to sit at during lunch.
But I was about to make some kid's day by sitting next to him.
How do you get like this, bruh? Only a scant amount of feats and achievements could inflate someone's ego this much. But as far as I'm concerned, Greg Heffley has done nothing in his 11 years of life to think this greatly of himself. Low-key though, them lunches look mad good. Like, dang, where's this school at, man? So now, Greg and Rowley are forced to eat their lunch on the floor. But you know, even though Greg is very unlikable at times, come on, bruh. How do you miss the whole track? Look at him. He intentionally didn't put his trash in the trash. Look at that, bro. Look.
So my first day could have gone better. But at least I wasn't humiliated.
Hey, Greg! You want to come over and play?
Honestly, I can't really blame Greg for getting embarrassed. Like, I probably feel the same if that happened to me too. Hold up. Ain't this the dude from earlier?
What the hell, boy?
Man, I don't want to see nothing from you.
What the hell?
Crossing your arms like you did something. Why don't you go save some more seats? After that incident, Greg and Rowley walk home together, embarrassed and defeated. Seeing his best friend frustrated with what had happened, Rowley attempts to offer some advice.
My mom told me to just be myself and people would like me.
That would be good advice if you were somebody else.
That was so mean, bruh. Why would you say that? Especially to Rowley, man. Why would you say that, man? Alright, low-key, this doesn't have anything to do with the video, but I just had to say something. I had to. Shoes on the bed is crazy. Like, I no offense. I knew white people slept with their shoes on, but straight jumping on the bed with shoes is unbelievable.
I can't lose the fright.
So you just about to break someone's property and not pay for it, huh? Actually, what is even the purpose of this game he's made of anyway? He makes Rowley ride a tricycle down a hill and he throws a football at him. Like what? How do you win this game? What's the point? You're just throwing a football at him. Okay, next, Greg, after being embarrassed by Rowley multiple times now, comes to the conclusion that rather than abandoning his best friend, he should try to fix him. So what he does is make fun of his clothes or just try to change the way Rowley presents himself to make him look more cool, all while insulting him in every step of the way. Look, my mans, no one cares that you wear your backpack with one strap. Just stop it, okay? Please! Okay, here, Greg doesn't do anything, but I wanted to include this scene in the video to help explain future scenes, just in case you haven't seen the movie in a while. So, while trick-or-treating, some hooligans pull up on Greg and Rowley, some words were exchanged, the situation escalates a bit, and then Greg eventually threatens to call the cops. Greg and Rowley are then chased and eventually seek shelter in Greg's grandma's house. With the opposition not showing any signs of backing down, Greg and Rowley resort to fighting back, or I should say defending themselves. They grab some tools from Greg's grandma's garage, and while Greg attempts to de-escalate the situation, he ends up accidentally damaging the truck of one of the bullies. Infuriated, the bullies then begin to chase Greg and Rowley again until they eventually escape. So that's basically what happens. These characters will eventually pop up again in the movie, and they do play an important role. So I just wanted to refresh, I guess, in case some of you guys have forgot. And if you haven't watched this movie, this video probably doesn't really make any sense anyways to you. So the first disaster, the start of Greg Heffley's spiral downwards. Greg and Rowley start playing this dumb game again, and what do you know? Greg breaks Rowley's arm. You know, I feel like a parent scolding their child after you told them not to touch the stove or just not to do some stupid stuff and they do it anyway. Anyways, he breaks Rowley's arm, and while in class, some students see Rowley with his cast on and inquire about what happened. Now, as Rowley begins to receive some attention, Greg, as we can see, is not too pleased with what's happening. He immediately tries to capitalize on the situation, and I don't even. It says the straight dumbest thing you could ever think about.
Hey, I'm the one who broke his hand.
Then you're a jerk.
Like, how do you even say that, man? So then, after that, Greg attempts to fake his own injury, and after miserably failing to get the attention he desired, he learns that the school cartoonist has gone ill. What thoughts are going through Greg's mind, you might ask? Another chance at popularity. Disaster number 2. Greg approaches Rowley and asks him if he could walk the kids because Greg forgot his raincoat and the weather was pretty bad that day, or would be pretty bad later. For context, Greg and Rowley both join the safety patrol at their school, and one of their tasks is walking the kindergartners home. But Rowley tells Greg that he can't because he can't get his cast wet, but then offers him his raincoat instead. While Greg is walking the children, the same scoundrels from Halloween appear yet again. With practically no time to act, Greg Heffley conjures up the brilliant idea to make the children jump into this construction hole thing. But unfortunately, it's too late. The car pulls up and, oh, what's this? It's just some dude in the truck?
Hey! Hallie Jefferson, is that you?
As we can see, this lady has mistaken Greg for Rowley due to her only seeing Rowley's raincoat. What do you think Greg does in this situation? A. Correct Mrs. Irvine's misidentification. B. Act like he didn't hear her. Or C. Continue making her believe that the person she's talking to is Rowley. Yeah, you guessed it, man. It's C. He picked C. So basically, this inevitably causes Rowley to get suspended from the safety patrol for something he didn't do. And all Greg does is watch from a distance, too scared to tell the truth. And honestly, I could definitely see most children in this situation not telling the truth immediately. But it's the fact that Greg continued to play along as if he was Rowley. And the crazy part was, he had a raincoat on. A raincoat. While it was raining. He could have easily hid his identity if he wanted to. From the person driving the truck, I mean. Because even if the bullies from Halloween were in that truck, they wouldn't be able to see who Greg was if he just hid his face. While pondering what had just happened at school, Greg's mom takes notice of Greg's strange behavior and asks him if everything is okay. But rather than telling her exactly what happened, because I'm pretty sure he knows who's in the wrong in the situation and what kind of answer he'd get if he told her the whole truth, he gives her the most vague explanation of the situation he's in. Then his mom, with not much to go off of course, tells him to do the right thing. Now, what do you think Greg does with this advice? After tossing and turning all night, he says, thinking about what to do, he comes to the conclusion to let Rowley take one for the team. Eventually, however, the guilt overpowers Greg and he comes clean to Rowley about the whole situation. And obviously, Rowley is not too pleased to hear this news, and you can see it in his face as well. The moment he realizes that Greg is maybe not the best person to be friends with. Everything that happened up until now has led up to this finale. At this point, Greg and Rowley have not talked for some time now, and things aren't really looking too great for Greg. Here, Greg sits alone during recess, and surprisingly, he's approached by Rowley. And it even seems as if he's being friendly as well. But bro was really just asking for his game back. So Greg starts being petty and says no. So they start arguing now, and Patty, being the instigating gold medalist that she is, whilst witnessing these two arguing, tells Rowley to kick his butt. It's easy. So now Greg and Rowley, whilst altercating, are interrupted by you will never guess who. The bullies from Halloween, guys. So after making all the other kids leave, they get Greg and Rowley and I'm sorry, give me 1 second. They get Rowley and force him to eat the cheese, y'all. Y'all understand how bad that is? The cheese touch was already bad enough. It's like the middle school equivalent to AIDS. On top of that, they made him eat the cheese. They then tried to make Greg eat it too, but he's saved by the gym teacher, who I guess was called by the other kids. All the kids come running back outside to see what happened, and just as they begin to put together what had just occurred, Greg takes the fall for Rowley and says that he's the one who ate the cheese. He then begins to give a whole speech about how corrupt middle schoolers are, and just as it seems he's getting through to the crowd, Patty had ruins it, and everyone runs away from Greg. So yeah, I guess Greg does end up redeeming himself. Him and Rowley become friends again, And yeah, man, the end. That's how the movie ends, happily ever after. I don't know what else.